Right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m., record high gas prices climb higher overnight.
It could get worse, and it's definitely not going to get much better.
We're going 360 in depth on new efforts to make them fall.
An urgent call for gun control.
For God's sake, do something.
President Biden makes his plea to Congress.
After Columbine, after Sandy Hook, after Charleston, after Orlando, after Las Vegas, after Parkland, nothing has been done.
A look at where Congress may find compromise.
No experience, no education, no problem. Teens enter the best summer job market we've seen in more than a decade.
And an Aurora 12-year-old in a first ever spell-off.
C-H-A-R-A.
Mayutic, Mayutic.
M-A-I-E-U-T-I-C.
Calicothere.
C-H-A-L-I-C-O-T-H-E-R-E.
We're hearing from Vikram Raju after he finished second in an historic spelling bee.
I can't even process the word
Wow.
as fast as he spelled it. That's amazing.
It was, yeah. No definition, no language of origin,
Just a lightning
spell.
round. Yeah,
Right.
that was amazing. We're so proud of Vikram, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about his historic achievement this morning. Good morning to you on this Friday. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders, and finally, it's going to feel a little more like summer this weekend, Katie.
Yeah, we're back to the 80s here across town, so more seasonal conditions. Temperatures this morning are mild. We're under a mostly clear sky as we take a live look out near Westminster. A little more humidity in the atmosphere, creating a little bit of that haze here across the metro area at 93% at DIA. Winds are calm, sustained from the south at 9 miles per hour. Your weather headlines for this Friday: we'll see plenty of sunshine statewide this morning, increasing cloud coverage by the afternoon. We'll be tracking a few isolated storms for Metro Denver, but a better possibility of stronger thunderstorm activity over the far eastern plains, and we'll warm up to the 80s this weekend. This morning, it's going to be low 60s by 9 o'clock. Daytime highs reaching the low to upper 70s here in town. There's that risk of seeing stronger storm and could even see a severe storm or two form across the far eastern plains. Warm and dry into the mountains. A really nice start to our weekend. Very few storms, but a better possibility next week. Jason.
And right now we still have this road closure situation in around downtown Denver on the north side of downtown because of a large building fire we had early this morning. More details on that coming up in just a second. And it's really, here's Broadway, here's Park Avenue West. You see Coors Field over there, and this is Arapahoe Street. So it's going to be, the rescue mission is right here. So it's a block off of where the rescue mission is, right in this area. We still have some road closures in here, but more details of what's going on coming up in just a minute. But the smoke is pretty much dissipated. Take a look at I-76, 270. You can see some of the slower traffic in here. The drive time very typical for us here this morning. Not too bad for us right now on this Friday morning. Not seeing any other big problems on or off the highway system. Anywhere you want to go, it looks okay.
Thank you, Jason. We do have some new information on that building fire he was just talking about in Denver's Ballpark District as we give you a ground level view here. It has sent a lot of smoke, and you can see some of it out of the back of the building there. That smoke is going across the Ballpark District, downtown, the Rhino District. This is on Arapahoe where it meets Park Avenue and Broadway. This is an abandoned building, despite the sign on the front there. We have confirmed it is abandoned. As firefighters continue trying to knock it down. They've been fighting this for a while. Our photojournalist says that flames are still flickering out of the back of the building from time to time. It is obviously impacting traffic in the area with those areas blocked off. Great Divide Brewing Company is right next door. We will continue to update you on this situation as firefighters continue to get a handle on it.
Now to the new record this morning for a gallon of gas in Colorado. AAA says it went up 5 cents just overnight to $4.49 a gallon. And this is 25 cents more than we were paying 1 week ago. So we're taking a 360 in-depth look at the rising cost of gas.
Yeah, there have been some major developments overnight on the efforts to lower the cost, including how OPEC will change oil output to meet a global gas crunch right now. Also, President Biden is about to travel overseas to seek help from a country he considered an outcast.
The stakes are high, though, why experts say we could be headed for the worst energy crisis in a generation. And we'll look at some resources to help you stretch your gas money. First, though, we want to get to that news. OPEC has agreed to increase oil output by 50% in July and August. It will increase production by 648,000 barrels per day. The group is slowly getting back to a production target of 10 million barrels per day. That was cut when demand died early on in the pandemic.
Meanwhile, President Biden is expected to travel to Saudi Saudi Arabia later this month, which is part of an international trip for NATO. Much of that meeting will focus on convincing the Saudis to release more oil. President Biden has not engaged directly with the Crown Prince there since he took office. That was in response to the killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Some energy experts worry we could be headed toward a worse energy crisis than we saw in the 70s and 80s. Back then, people waited in lines for hours at times to fill up their gas tanks. While we produce more oil nowadays, demand has skyrocketed. For as high as prices are in the metro right now, though, just be glad you don't live in Aspen. Someone sent us this video showing regular gas going for $5.99 and premium for over actually almost $7 a gallon. So how can you make your gas last? Denver 7's Colette Bordelon talked with some local experts about ways to save. Colette.
$5.99 in Aspen. That is just shocking. But here at the Sinclair off of South Colorado Boulevard, it's almost at $4.80 a gallon. With prices like that, it's hard not to wonder, how else can I get around? And one way could be carpooling with people you've never met before. Now, the city of Denver has a program called the Way to Go program. It helps people find more eco-friendly ways to get around, like the bus route that best fits your life, riding a bicycle, or walking if that makes sense. But they also offer matching for a carpool service. Now, their best advice for saving money is to be open-minded when it comes to how we get around, since they see two big problems that come from a city so dependent on cars.
Traffic congestion and air pollution. Air pollution is not good for our health. Traffic congestion is not good for our mental health. Nobody moves to Denver because they want to sit in traffic. They want to get to their destination and have fun.
That I completely agree with. Now, if carpooling's not for you, you need to take care of your car, maybe change how you drive. Gas Buddy says proper tire inflation, that could extend your mileage by 3%, but avoiding hard braking or acceleration, that could extend it by up to 33%, which that's a lot when it comes down to prices like this. Now, if you are interested in the carpooling or finding a better bus route for yourself, go to waytogo.org. Live this morning, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Helps. All right. Thank you, Colette. Well, investigators in Oklahoma say the man who shot and killed 4 people at a medical center was targeting a doctor he blamed for the pain he was in after recent back surgery. The shooter left a letter saying he intended to shoot Dr. Preston Phillips. On the left there, another physician, a receptionist, and a patient, though, were also killed. The gunman bought his weapons the same day of the attack. Meanwhile, there are more funeral services scheduled for today in Uvalde, Texas. 10-year-old Jace Luavanos, 10-year-old Jayla Silguero, and 9-year-old Jacqueline Cazares will all be laid to rest. And now a Texas state senator says the commander overseeing police during the shooting was not informed of the panicked 911 calls coming from students trapped inside the classroom. Senator Roland Gutierrez wants Texas Governor Greg Abbott to call a special legislative session in response to the shooting. President Biden is once again calling on Congress to take action against gun violence. In an evening address to the nation, he called for a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
And Jessica Crawford is here with some context. Jessica, you looked into what lawmakers can realistically accomplish.
That's right. So President Biden did ask for some gun control measures that might not be so popular with the GOP. But some bipartisan senators are trying to get something off the ground as the president pleaded for some progress last night.
It's time for each of us to do our part. It's time to act for the children we've lost, for the children we can save, for the nation we love. Let's hear the call and the cry. Let's meet the moment. Let us finally do something.
The president overnight calling for specific actions to help stop mass shootings, along with a ban on assault-style weapons and high-capacity magazines. He pushed for expanded background checks and red flag laws. He also wants to raise the age to purchase assault-style weapons from age 18 to 21. The House Judiciary Committee last night did advance a package of gun violence prevention measures. That bill does include the age increase, but not an assault weapons ban. Senators are working on a separate bill. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said that it focuses on mental health and school safety.
The Buffalo and Uvalde shootings underscore a problem we've seen over and over again over the last 30 years. Mental illness and school safety are what we need to target.
McConnell says that he hopes to present that bipartisan idea next week, and he has hopes that it could actually pass the Senate. I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. Back on the state level, Governor Polis is signing several wildfire bills into law today. Money will now be directed toward more resources for volunteer firefighters and mitigation efforts. Well, this morning we have a huge congratulations to 12-year-old Vikram Raju from Aurora.
Yeah, he finished second in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, and he made history here because for the first time in the 94 years of the Spelling Bee, it ended in a spell-off. Each finalist had 90 seconds to spell as many words correctly as they could. In the end, Harini Logan from Texas spelled 21 words correctly. Vikram got 15.
3 years of eligibility. You have one more year. Will we see you next year, Vikram?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can see the
I
disappointment
know,
there, but
it's so sad.
it was amazing.
Third time, right,
Yeah.
as a national speller, and this was his best finish ever.
Yep.
He's got one more year of
Exactly,
eligibility.
yeah.
He can do it.
And the winner, she had been there 4 times last year, so good for her too. But,
Yes.
But we'll be talking to Vikram more, we know it. Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, the list goes on and on and on for streaming services. Why now may be a good time to quit some of those.
Plus 3 goals in less than 3 minutes. A pretty incredible scoring blitz as the Avs take a commanding lead in the NHL Western Conference Finals.